All right, everybody, welcome back to Marsh's Tomatoes. So, I know a lot of you guys have the big problem of what to do with all the deer meat that you get from harvesting however many animals you get to shoot a year. But here's one of the things that we do. I was just out of the freezer. I went and I got some of the deer sausage that we made. We actually make our own sausage with our own mix, and then we take it to a local packing house and they will package it for us. So we mix it with pork here at home. This is probably about a 60-40 mix where 60% is pork and 40% is deer. I like a little bit more fat in it than the typical deer sausage, so we put a little bit more pork than normal. Okay, so we've got, I don't know, about 4 pounds of beef that we got from a good friend of ours. We bought a cow from her this year, a nice steer, beautiful animal. So this is about 4 pounds of ground beef from her. About 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds of our deer sausage, which I said it's a higher pork count than most people would put in their deer sausage. So I'm just going to take the skins off, mix all this meat together with a little bit of our all-purpose seasoning, and we're going to make Salisbury steaks. Now the way I do Salisbury steak is I'm going to put these things together, form up my steaks, and then we're going to take them out to the grill. We're going to grill these over direct heat. Not for long, just enough to get some good char marks on them. Then we're gonna bring them inside, put them in the oven, slow roast them, I don't know, at 275, 300 degrees, just until they're done enough. We'll drain most of the fat out, then we'll make a little gravy to put in it, and it'll be your typical Salisbury steak. Just a little twist on it with it being done on the grill. Now, like I said, this is part of the ways that we use the deer that we harvest each year. None of our animals go to waste. When we harvest an animal, we consume that animal 100%. So let me just get all this mixed up and I'll start forming up my patties. All right, so we mixed all of our ingredients. I think we have a little shot of everything that was in there, which was basically our deer sausage, the ground beef. We added some breadcrumbs, 5 eggs, and about half a cup of water. So we've got about the consistency we want. We'll just grab them out, make them into a typical Salisbury steak type of patty, which is kind of football shaped. I'm not sure why it came to be such, but we're gonna make all these patties up. Then we'll season them again with the all-purpose seasoning, and then to the grill they'll go. All right, everybody, so we made the Salisbury steak patties last night. We set them in the refrigerator. You can see they firmed up pretty nicely. All of these are about equal size as far as thickness, length, width. They're all pretty equal. Now, I took 3 of them and I broke them up, put them in the pot. I'm gonna brown it down with some onions. This is gonna be part of our gravy. Just wanted to give the gravy a little bit of a taste of the seasonings and whatnot that were in the Salisbury steaks, just to give it a little consistency. So here I'm making a roux. I'm sure everybody knows how to make a roux, but it's approximately equal parts of flour and oil. I didn't actually measure it, so I may have a little more of one than the other. But I'm gonna let this get good and dark. Then once it's done, we will add it to the pot with the beef that's browning currently, and we'll make our gravy to put our Salisbury steaks in when we take them off the grill. So to save everybody 15 minutes of video time, we just cut to the chase here and show you the end of the roux. It's gotten pretty dark. We're going to get just a little bit darker. You can see it's dried up a little bit, but we're going to add it over to this pot, which, as you've seen in the other videos, we deglazed the bottom of the pot. We deglazed it with just regular water this time. All that meat that you put in there, it all sticks to the bottom of the pot. Regardless what you do, you're going to get a little bit of residue on the bottom of your pot. So we deglaze it before we add anything to it. Now, it is time for us to add some of this roux. I know a lot of the folks out there are going to poo-poo the idea of making the roux in one pan and then adding it to another, but you know what? It's just the way I do it. So this will be the beginning of your gravy. Obviously, we're going to add some water to it. All right, so everybody saw we've got the gravy inside. It's just kind of doing its thing, sitting in there resting. We're gonna put these Salisbury steaks on the grill. And the grill is very hot by intention. So what we were after with the grill is just to get it seared. We did not cook these all the way through. We were on the grill a total of about 4 minutes, 5 at the most. So now we take these, settle them down into our gravy here. And since these things are not fully cooked, they're going to release a lot of moisture, fat, whatnot. So this gravy is going to actually get a little thin, a little thinner than it is for sure, as we cook this. So we got all the Salisbury steaks kind of settled into the gravy now. You can do one of two things. You can slow cook these on the stove, or you can put them in the oven. We're going to go with the oven today. The slow cooking it on the stove is a great option, it really is, but you have to stick with it a little better. You have to stay with it where you can make certain that your gravy doesn't burn to the bottom of the pot. You put it in the oven, you really can just put it in there and just walk away from it until it's done. So we're going to put it in the oven at about 275 for around an hour to maybe 2 hours. It'll just depend on how quickly the steaks get done. So I'll check those periodically. While it's in the oven, I'll just slide the tray of the oven out, check the steaks, see if they're done. If they're done, we're done. If they're not, we continue on. So let's go, get them in the oven. All right, so we left this in the oven for about an hour and 40 minutes. Checked it a couple of times, and the Salisbury steaks are done. So I've got it on the stove top now just to thicken up this gravy just a little bit. So we're gonna let this cook down for about another 15 minutes just to get it a little bit thicker. Like I said, it thinned up some when you put them in there to cook them with the moisture that gets released from the meat that was not cooked when we put it in here. So So we finished it up, added some mashed potatoes, some roasted tomatoes. My beautiful wife made some homemade rolls. Bon appetit. Thank you guys for watching.